Hello Forkies, this is day 13 of me playing chess every day until I reach the rapid rating of 2500. So here we go. Today we will not play the 10 plus 0 game, but we'll play a 15 plus 10 game. That means that we get 10 seconds per every move, and I think this will be much better time format, means that I will be talking and explaining my moves in much greater depth, because time is not as big limit as it used to be. So we have a closed Ruy Lopez for now. Bishop e7 the main line, but d6 was played. So now maybe just rook e1 defending the pawn. Bishop e7 or b5 is now a very logical move. But bishop to d7, I don't really know these variations too good. Now d4 seems very reasonable. Yes, I will simply play d4 and I will have a lot of time to think and to explain my moves, so I believe games will be much better. And yes, now my opponent is thinking maybe b5 is an alternative to taking. Oh, b5 takes. There are some tactics. I now take, and after, yes, but wait, this is very bad for me now, because after takes I cannot take back because of c5 and c4. So I need to find an alternative to this. Maybe e5 there, takes with check, bishop e7, and then I take, but then there is c5 anyway. Oh no, there is not, because bishop is pinned here. So yes, I take, he takes, I play e5. If he takes, I take back with the rook, bishop e7, and then I take the pawn. If c5, I can take because the bishop is hanging because of my rook. So this is my calculation. Let's go through it once again. Knight takes d4, takes e5, attacking the knight. If it moves like to g4, then I simply take, and if bishop takes, c5 doesn't work because the bishop is hanging. But my h2 pawn is hanging as well. But knight takes d4 is the best move. Indeed, I'm sure about it. And now e5 simply. e5, if he takes, I can grab this pawn later on. Or maybe I can take the d4 pawn right away, and after c5 I can take with check actually. And if here, then I don't know, bishop d5 or something to save my bishop. But my opponent will most likely play something like knight to g4. Although knight g4, probably there is e6, takes, and if he after e6 he take back with the bishop, I have takes as well because the bishop is pinned, and this is the very good move, I believe. e5 is very good move, and if he moves, I take with check, winning a piece. So I missed that detail when I was calculating. So taking is, I believe, forced in this position. Maybe bishop e7 is a move as well, but this just looks very bad. Maybe this is an alternative to taking the pawn. My opponent is thinking that is a correct decision because this is a crucial position in the opening. And we're playing against almost 2000 rated guy. So now I will simply take the pawn, I believe. And after bishop e7 I will take this pawn. c5 cannot be played. Alright? This is my calculation. I take. Oh, bishop e6. I take with check, and everything should be fine. So bishop e7, yes, on the board. Is there something like bishop takes f7? Not really, so I will simply take the pawn. After castles, then maybe something like queen to e3, attacking the bishop. But just taking the pawn is fine as well, I believe, in this position, and now he will simply castle. That's my prediction, because c5 loses a pawn right away. My opponent thinking, so he is not very sure about his calculation, but okay, castling is very logical in this position, and my queen and my rook are very good, has very good placement in this position. Maybe queen h4 to follow with some attacking potentials, this bishop will be pinning the f7 pawn, which can be crucial in some tactical opportunities. Yes, my opponent simply castled. So, what should we play now? Queen e3 looks very good. Bishop g5 here. I'm not so sure this used. I don't like this actually. But queen e3 traps all traps. It kinda prevents my bishop to develop to g5 in some positions, but it definitely attacks the bishop here. Here, maybe bishop d6, and I don't like my position so much. But the fact, maybe simply a4. a4 looks very okay. This is a standard plan in the Ruy Lopez actually, to play a4. And if he takes, I simply take back with the bishop having a very decent position. So, a4, c5. Okay, this move needs to be calculated. But in the worst case scenario, I can simply take. But okay, a4, c5. Let's play queen h4 there, c3 there, and he takes the pawn. What is going on in that position? So I am down a pawn, but the pawn on c4 would be hanging when he takes the pawn on a4, so this is good, I believe. a4 is my move in this position. c5, queen h4, if c4 there, bishop a2 takes, I believe my position is fine. And make sure to stick around to the end of the game, because I will analyze the game afterwards. So, I was only calculating c5 and bishop to d6, simply followed by rook to e1, and my position is very solid. There is no bishop takes h2 in that position, or maybe there is actually. But I can go to e3 as well if something happens to cover h file, and my position would be really okay. So bishop d6 definitely an option here. Bishop d6 definitely a very aggressive option for my opponent. And maybe then rook e1 or rook e3 can be considered, but I'm not sure what is the best move after bishop d6. Rook e1 takes here. Maybe here he has bishop d6 played. Rook e1 is there a Greek gift actually. I need to calculate this detail here. Here, threatening here. No, actually the pawn is defended. So is there actually a threat? Maybe bishop in here takes. I mean rook e1, bishop takes h2, knight g4, king g1 here, and bishop e3. Is there anything I can be afraid of? Check here, check here. The queen is attacked. If they take g2, the bishop here would be hanging, so this is not good. Yes, just rook e1. I believe there is no Greek gift in this position, because the f2 pawn is defended by my queen, which is crucial in this position. So just rook e1. I believe this is okay move. I am provoking the Greek gift, which in my opinion does not work at all. Okay, my opponent thinking. God bless me. I'm allergic to how my opponent is playing, and the fact that bishop is on d6 means that c5 cannot be played, because the bishop would be hanging in this position. So my opponent needs to consider if he will take on h2 or not, and this is a very hard decision to make. Excuse me, but I'm really allergic to everything that is out right now, so my nose is completely dying at the moment. But bishop takes h2. I don't believe this move actually works. So, but we'll see. Maybe my opponent will take the pawn, and he's thinking for 1 minute now, which means that he definitely is considering bishop takes h2, which is a very known tactical opportunity with knight g4 followed by queen h4. But the pawn is defended on f2. Maybe I can play g3 in that position. g3, wait. G3 looks very good. Excuse me once again. I was just calculating takes, here, and queen h4. Okay, bishop c6 on the board, which looks to be a very interesting move. Of course, threatening bishop takes h2, discovered attack on the queen. But maybe simply queen h4 in this position. Queen h4 looks very nice. Maybe g3, but g3 looks bad. Bishop e3. Is there Greek gift then? No, because the knight is hanging. Bishop e3. Simply defending the queen. Developing. I don't see a reason not to play bishop e3 now. Although there is rook d1 as well, but bishop e3 probably the best move in the position, I will think, because I have enough time to consider all the moves. Of course, taking is a mistake. Maybe bishop e3, yes. I don't see another option. There is queen h4 actually. Yes, queen h4 is very interesting move. But I like my queen on d4 actually. So bishop e3. Bishop e3 played. And what will my opponent do? Rook e8 seems very logical, but I can just develop. My idea is to play knight c3 or knight d2 followed by knight f3. If knight d2 of course, and then to just develop my rook. Maybe take the pawn. Taking the pawn is not considered very good, but maybe there is c4, c5 there. Trading the queens. Maybe this is an option, but okay. Because if he takes with the pawn, then I think my position is very good. Maybe this is an option as well, but what will my opponent do? There is knight e4 actually, but okay, queen d7. This looks a bit weird actually. Takes and c4, c5. Ooh, this is a interesting move, but I will simply play knight c3 first. If b4, I can play here. No, I can't play here because there is a discovered check. So knight c3 here, I can go to e2, and the pawn here will be very weak. Just knight c3, right? If b4 here, my position would be very, very solid in that position. Just a second, you guys. I am back, excuse me for this moment. I am really dying at this point, but the show must go on, as they say. What is happening? My opponent still not playing the move. Maybe rook e8, simply. But the pawn is very weak in this position, so knight on c3 is doing a great job attacking, or at least pressuring the b5 pawn, which is crucial in some positions. b4, knight e2 played instantly, because knight d5 simply does not work in this position because of various tactical motives. And of course, my opponent has a very decent position. The material is equal, but I mean, I'm still pressuring. I have 20 seconds on the clock more than my opponent, which is not crucial, of course, like in 10+0 games, but when the time scramble will happen, I think I am much stronger than 2000 rated players on chess.com. Because I play a lot of bullet and I think my bullet is very good. So knight g5, knight g4, excuse me, was played. Okay, pressuring h2. What about h3? maybe trying to go here. Okay, I will think for a second. Because this is very good move, yes. But it has some drawbacks. H3. If here, then I simply go here. There is no knight f2 because the pawn is defended. My queen is defended as well. If h3 takes, well, I think my position there would be, I don't know, this kind of surprised me actually, because this bishop, I mean, I don't want to give up the bishop pair, but I most likely have to. Oh, maybe there is bishop to f4? Bishop f4? There is no check because of my bishop, and if takes, there is simply nothing my opponent can do. Yes, I really like bishop f4 actually. Is there any other move that my opponent can play except for taking? I don't think so. Bishop f4 takes. Knight cannot attack anything. I like this. Bishop f4. Really nice move, I believe. Bishop f4. Bishop f4. I don't think there is anything that my opponent can do. b4 I can simply take or play knight e2. Yes, bishop f4. I believe this is a very good and important move in this position, because otherwise my opponent would get very strong bishops on this diagonal. And of course the bishop is defended by my queen, which is so important, because otherwise the bishop would be hanging, of course. And now my idea is to take the bishop, and if takes, then maybe like rook d1 attacking the pawn, maybe knight d5, maybe taking the b5 pawn, and I have a lot of ideas in this position. The knight is definitely misplaced on d4, and bishop f4 was a move that my opponent definitely missed. That's at least my guess, because otherwise you don't play knight g4 if you see that it does not accomplish pretty much anything. So my opponent thinking I am down to 9 minutes, but this is still a lot of time, and I gain 10 seconds every single move. This is very important, otherwise the game would be pretty much faster, at least in the opening or in the middle game as well. 17 moves into the game, and I believe we have a very decent position. He takes, I take back. Maybe I could have pre-moved queen takes f4, but still very okay time advantage, or at least time management, if I say so. Maybe bishop e6 in some positions can work, giving black this weak pawn on e6 actually. Maybe this is an option in some positions, but I like my bishop being on b3, supporting a4, maybe pressuring b5 as well, and I think my position is very nice here. So what is my opponent thinking about? Maybe rook e8 is a move here, maybe something else, I'm not sure. Maybe knight f6, simply retreating, but then rook d1 and I gain a big initiative. So probably rook e8, but with rook e8 doesn't even work, because I can take. If rook takes, I have bishop f2, bishop f7, and the knight is hanging here. So this is a very important tactical motive to notice. And this kind of observations during your opponent's clock, it's very good to observe the position, because with the observation the tactics can work. If you don't notice that the knight is only defended by the queen, then bishop f7 is hard to spot during your time. So while your opponent is thinking, you should not thinking up. You shouldn't think about your moves, but you should think about the position itself. So knight f6 played, and now simply rook d8, right? Rook d8, queen where? Queen c8? Queen c8 looks awful actually, if I'm completely honest. Rook d8, rook d1, queen c8. Takes. But the bishop here is loose as well. That means that I can play something like... I'm not sure, but... just rook d1, right? Rook d1, attacking the queen. I spent half a minute here, which is too much, because rook d1 should be played instantly. And my opponent is thinking he has only one move. I don't know what his problem is. Oh, there is queen oh, there is queen g5. There is queen g5. I kinda missed queen g5. But I mean this. Queen g5. Threatening checkmate, of course, this is an idea. But... Wait, is there knight d5 after queen g4? If takes, of course I take. Yes, queen g4 happens. Do I take or do I play something like rook? No, the mate is threatened. So maybe queen g3 actually. Takes. Rook d4. Back and rook d1. The rook endgame should be much better for me. At least I think so. Just takes. And rook d4. Is everything under control? Yes, it is. Rook d4. Attacking the knight, of course. Maybe taking the pawn, but then the a file opens up for my opponent, which is not particularly good. And rook d1 to follow. We are building some time advantage in this position, which is very, very crucial. And maybe after knight f6, rook d1, maybe... Yes, this is pretty much logical, alright? Maybe knight d5 in some positions, trading everything. And then the rook endgame with rooks on the 7th rank should be much better for me. So, my opponent thinking this is tough endgame to hold. You cannot really take this pawn because the a6 pawn would be very weak in some positions of the endgame, and this is not very, very good to take the a4 pawn. I mean, you're probably just much worse after b takes on a4. But the fact that you cannot play rook to d8 is very bad for my opponent, because I took over control over the d file. And yes, you can play rook to e8, but you cannot really double up and put some pressure on the 2nd rank, because my knight controls the square. Of course, this knight controls the d7 square as well, but I will trade off this knight, so... Does this work? Takes. Here cannot be played because of here. In there, I take like this and play here, which should be better for me. So, takes. I mean, here doesn't work, so you have to pretty much go into a rook endgame. If c6, then maybe here. Rook e2 never works. Yes, just knight d5. I believe this is very good move to start the rook endgame. Knight d5, if takes, I take with check. Oh, maybe I missed this detail. Oh, but I'm threatening the pawn on c7, of course. That was the idea. So you cannot take on a4. Or maybe you can actually, but... No, you can, because there is checkmate and everything will be pinned on e8, so you cannot really take the a4 pawn. Although you get 2 pieces for the rook, there will be an internal pin, which does not work. I will pre-move this. And even now you cannot take the pawn on a4, because it will simply fall off the board, and this a6 pawn, a6 pawn, a6 pawn will be very weak. My pronunciation is not particularly good, but still, okay. And yes, I believe this rook endgame is a 2 result. Endgame, only I can win this position. My rooks are much better coordinated. And yes, we'll see. King f1 to follow to control the e2 square, which can be really important in this kind of endgame. My opponent thinking, what? You have to take the bishop, there is no other move, because the rook on a8 would be hanging otherwise. Of course, what? If rook e6, I take the rook, or even the bishop and then checkmate, so... There is... What? Why are you thinking here? There is... You can play bishop d7 because the rook would be hanging, there is no check on e1. But okay, if my opponent wants to think, let them think. And we have 8 minutes versus 4 minutes and a half, which can be deadly for my opponent. And I will spend a lot of time because I think this position is very crucial for the result of the game. King f1, I like this move. If c6, then rook d7 probably. Or maybe not, I'm not sure. But rook d7 will be my move in the near future anyway. But c6, there is rook d6 as well, pressuring the pawn. There, here I can take then. This I don't believe this is good actually. Maybe just rook d4. And what? Where can I start with king f1, not allowing anything to go to? Yes, king f1 now. If rook e4, then there is check and I take and then play rook a4. But wait, there is rook b8 resource. So now I need to be precise. Here. I have check, and there takes. I have here, g3. If takes, I take, and he is up a pawn. What? I need to spend a lot of time here. This is crucial position actually. Okay, rook d4. If here, maybe I can even go here. Yes, I like this actually. You cannot take the pawn because of checkmate and then... But this is simply a draw actually. Maybe this is simply forced draw. Rook a5 an idea. Okay, maybe king f1, rook b8. Here. And this should be just a draw. But then rook d1, g3. No, because the... What? I thought this move is bad. Maybe just rook d... No. Is the rook on e2 dangerous? No, it's not. The rook d4 here. Here. But then he can take because of back rank mate. Here. He's up a pawn. And he's this is just bad. Maybe c3 actually. c3 looks very good move. c3. Wow, c3 looks good. If here, then check. Taking here and playing here. No, but the b2 pawn is weak, that's the problem. Maybe just king f1. I spent like 3 minutes on this move. What? Bad, but okay. I believe this endgame is still winnable. If rook e4 and I play rook d4, and there is no rook e8 because I take and checkmate my opponent. Yes, I thought about rook b1 now. Oh, but then there is a3. But the pawn will be hanging, so rook b1 simply. I can go here, that's definitely a move. Rook e4 it's probably forced by my opponent. But after rook e4 I can get a draw, I guess. My king on f1 is really good. So I believe king f1 was the correct option. I need to pressure my opponent on the clock. Rook a5 now is a threat on the board. So maybe rook b6 actually. Rook b6 is option. But here, I don't think this is too good. And king f2 then even. a3 never I think because I play here, defend the pawn on c2 and pick up the a3 pawn, and if I can get a4 pawn then the game will end with victory for me, because a6 pawn is too weak to be for this endgame to be holdable. Okay, very good move, rook b5, but I simply go here now. What will you play against rook d4? Maybe rook a5, but what? This is just too passive, so rook d4 simply. Rook d4, rook b8, takes, and there is checkmate, so you cannot really do that. Rook b8 doesn't work, because here, you cannot take here because I have checkmate. And then I play rook c6, winning, not winning the pawn, because there is rook b7, but I can bring the king closer, a3 plate. Wow, you think this is good move? What? Rook a1, what am I missing here? Rook a5. No, this is just too dangerous for my opponent, of course. Yes, b3 is forced. What am I thinking about? If a2, rook a1 is forced. Rook a1, rook a5. Even rook a4 is a move. What about this position? I mean, rook c4 definitely a move, but then there is c5. And my opponent is simply surviving. Maybe c4. Or c3. Yeah. Maybe rook d2 to begin with. c3 and b4. Rook a3. I mean, rook d2, rook b8, c3 you cannot take because of checkmate. So b4 will, yes, I like this. Rook d2 simply. And yes, maybe rook a3 is a move. I like my position actually, if I'm completely honest, because if a2 pawn ever, yes, now maybe c4 actually. Okay, but I like this. C3 or b4. I bet c3 is better. c3. You cannot take, there is checkmate. And this endgame will be decided on the clock. I mean, there is rook a3, but then I take like this. Check here. And yes, I believe I can still win this game. My opponent down to 2 minutes and a half. And this will be decided on the clock as well. And I think I am good at scrambles, time scrambles, of course. Rook a3, maybe I miss this. Resulting, yes, rook a3 on the board. b3 here. No, just take. But how? Like this, right? No, but if you take... No. c4 now. What is happening here? Maybe like this, but then you can take. But if here you can take as well, so... Maybe rook b3? No. If c4, here... I take? I like c4 actually. Maybe b3 was a mistake. Or c3, excuse me. Maybe c4. Excuse me, b4. What is my problem? b4 takes. You cannot take because of... Yes, just c4. And my threat is now to play c4. I'm just constantly changing up b4 or c4, so... I hope you don't mind. And now I will take with this rook. There is still checkmate. Rook c1, definitely a mistake. I mean, this is probably just a draw, right? Maybe. But if I get these two rooks on the 7th rank, then my position should be better. But probably this will be a draw. So guys, tell me what you think about the new time format in the comments below, please. And I hope I win today's game. So, my opponent thinking, of course, realizing he cannot take on b4. Maybe he is considering rook c1 or rook b3. But we will see. g6. Okay, logical. Rook a6 here. Rook a6 takes. Can give check and go here. And then here and here and... Well, rook a6 probably like forced. And after here I will give check and go to c8. And maybe I get two rooks on the 7th rank, which would be much better for me. But I need to watch out for this passed pawn. I am down a pawn and now probably fighting for a draw, not for a win. But still, maybe something can happen to my opponent when low on time. And my king is not safe either, so... Okay. Check here. If here I go here, if here I go here. No, I can't do that. I go to g3, yes. Maybe c5. This is my idea, to get two rooks on the 7th rank, my opponent down to 1 minute. But I need to play fast now and do good moves. I cannot lose this game, because I would lose 9 rating points, which is huge if I want to get to 2500 in a good amount of time. Rook d1, king e2 played. Rook h1, I play h3. If here I play g3, if here I play h4. Now rook d7, almost a threat. Because how will you defend the f7 pawn? Now h3 played. Very quickly I responded, of course. Oh, there is rook h2. Meh. I guess. But I guess I have here. Okay, I definitely missed this idea, but this rook is very trapped here. How should I respond? Here, there is here, here, here. I don't like this. Maybe just rook d7. Well, I believe now my position is almost lost. Yes. But this is just a draw, right? Now this is just a draw. I can hold this one forever. Now rook h2 is a big mistake. Although rook h2 is playable, but then I'm threatening king. Yes. Just rook c3 and I hold the position. This is just a draw. There is nothing I can do. Of course, trading rooks is a bad decision. King f1, maybe king g3, king g2, and I simply hold the position. There is nothing like hard about it. This endgame is very equal. I mean, I'll just wait. Rook a3, rook a7. Maybe rook a4, controlling the square. Maybe. This is probably just a draw. Maybe rook a3 now. This should be very easy draw. And if I trade rooks like this, is this a draw? No, it's not. So I cannot really trade rooks. But why would I? I need to draw this one. If I lose, I will be very sad. Takes here. Should I take? Or should I simply wait? No, I will take. And play f3. Ooh, this is a drawing mechanism. I believe f3 now. And if here this is simply a draw, this is a Philidor position, nothing hard to draw this one. My rook is on third rank, which is very nice. Of course, the Philidor will... But this is Philidor as well. So, this is just a draw. If takes, this is simply... I don't trade rooks, of course, but... This is simply a draw. Maybe, if he takes, I will offer a draw. Maybe I won't, I don't know. I mean... This is just simply a draw. This is Philidor position, of course. When rook is on third rank, like this, and the king is in front of the pawn, this is simply a draw. There is nothing my opponent can do. My king will go to the second rank, and I will simply move my rook around. And with 10-second bonus time, this should be a very, very easy draw to hold. So I drew the day 13 game. I mean, it's not over, but it almost is, so. This is just a draw. There is nothing my opponent can do. Takes. If rook takes, I go to f2. If king takes, I can give check. And I can go to a3 then. If here, maybe check. Maybe to a3 simply. Not allowing anything to happen. Maybe my opponent will fight on, but after king f2, this is simply a draw. Rook d3. Now I can give check. Check. If this is just a draw. If here I can go to a3 back, and just repeat the position. You cannot advance in this position, rook a3. If here I go to f1, maybe to f3. This is simply a draw. But my opponent still fighting on, reasonable. Now even rook e3 is a draw. But just rook b3 now, rook a3. Just repeating moves. But now I will... Wait, this is a draw, right? Yes, rook e3 just forces a draw. Right? Rook e3 here. Rook e3, if he does take, then this is a draw, so rook e3. And this king and pawn endgame is of course a draw. I am in front of the passed pawn, which is just the definition of a draw. Maybe I was having an advantage. Wait, is this a draw or not? Takes, of course it is. If here. This is just a draw. Okay, I will lose 1 rating point, but still the video was and the game was pretty okay. Now I will analyze the game for you guys. And yes, my opponent is thinking how to take the pawn. I will offer a draw now. Maybe my opponent declined the draw, but after king e2, this is simply a draw. I go to f1 now, to e1, check, this is stalemate. Maybe king f4, but then king f2. I will offer a draw once again. No, but this is stalemate now. So yes, I managed to draw a day 13 game, I believe. And now we'll analyze the game. I need to turn on the engine lines and the evaluation, yes. Okay, e4 was played, I was having the white pieces. This is just very nice position. d4, d6, excuse me. And now, yes, I played rook e1, trying to retranspose to the main lines with b5 and bishop e7. But bishop to d7 was played instead. And now d4. d4 not a good move. I should have played bishop to b3 or c3. But okay, d4, yes, a mistake, because after b5 there is this move. And I cannot take, because after c5, if I play something like queen d1, there is this trap and my bishop is trapped. So after e takes d4, I played e5, which is very okay. Bishop e7, I took the pawn now, and my opponent castled, having better position. Interesting, now he is threatening c5, c4 of course. I played a4 in this position, not... Wow, now I'm losing because of c5, queen d1 and c4, and my bishop is trapped here. Okay, this is logical, I missed this. I was just calculating this, and now my position is okay. But of course, after a4, you don't need to take the a4 pawn logically. Now bishop d6 was played, having good advantage as well. Excuse me, I'm just dying here, so... Rook e1 was played, there is no bishop takes h2, I calculated this correctly, yes. If here... Now, I thought about bishop e3 or g3, but yes, bishop e3 is a draw. I'm losing after bishop e3. Oh, of course, bishop f4 controlling the square, logically. Maybe I would found this if the bishop were to take on h2, but of course in a calculation I missed this. So bishop c6 was played, bishop e3, queen d7 I developed, and now knight g4 was played. And now bishop f4, very good move. And now rook d1 and... Oh wow, rook f e8 is the best move by the computer. Logical. Of course, the fact is that I cannot take the queen because this would simply be checkmate in one, logically. But okay, this is kinda hard to find. It is logical, but okay. My opponent played queen g4, giving me almost a winning position. Why? I took the queen, and after knight takes d4, the best move was to play rook e7. Okay, logical, I don't know why I didn't play this. I played rook d4 instead, and now this is simply a draw. So yes, rook e7 was my biggest advantage of the game, I believe. Attacking the pawn, having decent position. But I played rook d4 instead, trying to double up. which I did, but it's not much here. And this is just, yes, now bishop b takes on a4. Very good move. I missed this, or at least I saw that my opponent can take, but I didn't saw that it is so good for my opponent. So after the move king f1, in which I spent like 3 minutes, and this was correct. If I were to play something like rook to a5, my position would be still a draw, but I didn't like this idea of picking up everything and rook e2. So I believe king f1 was the correct decision here. Now rook a b8, rook b1. Of course there is no idea to take here because this is not checkmate, of course, because my king is on f1 controlling the e1 square, really important. So after rook b1, rook b5 was played. Now of course taking is very bad, this is just losing because of this pawn majority on the queen side. My opponent would simply be winning. So after rook b5 I play rook d4, still maintaining a drawn position. a3, b3, rook e1 was actually a possibility. Okay, this is interesting, but b3 I believe is the best. And this is simply okay. Was I c4? c4 is the best move, but I play c3. And after rook a3, this is still a drawn position. After rook takes a6, I gave check and go to c8, and now suddenly it's minus 0.8. That means that computer doesn't know if this is a draw or this is a winning position for black. But as you will see, after rook b1, king e2, and rook h1, h3 is the only move. And now h5 was the best move by the computer, trying to stop any g3 advancement after rook h2, logical, but rook h2 was played. Now I found the only move in the position, rook to d7, and the computer thinks this is a win for black. But after rook g2, of course I took the pawn, and now what? Rook takes c7 is still winning? Wait, and after rook h2 I thought that I have rook c3. No, rook h1 and it is a win. What? This is not winning. Most certainly not. What is an idea? King h6 and walk the king here, but I go here. No, this is... Wow, if my opponent would found this idea of going here, this is really suspicious. So rook g5 was played instead. Very human move, of course. Now rook c3, and this is just simply a drawn position. I simply moved my rook up and down, and this is simply a draw. After pawn to f3, simply drawn position here. I gave checks, and this is the Philidor position. You really need to know this position. And the idea is that you simply put your rook on the third rank, of course controlling the crucial squares here, and this king will stay in front of the pawn. And when after rook b3, if you push the pawn, you can wait, and when king comes here, you play rook a8, and you simply check the king. And this is an idea of the Philidor position. And now you go back. When king wants to go up, you simply check him, and this is simply a draw. And here I played rook e3, trading rooks, and this is simply a draw no matter what. This is stalemate, of course, I cannot go anywhere. So this was the 13th game of my way to achieving the 2500 rapid rating here on chess.com. And if you guys like the video, please consider subscribing, it would really help me out. And please write in the comments whether or not you like this time format, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.